thanks for joining me. We're going to do a few simple stretches, some yoga poses that are beneficial for everybody, but particularly beneficial for soccer players, footy players, anyone taking part in any sports where you might need to ensure that the legs and the hips are nice and stretched out, as well as being strong too, to prevent any injuries. So we're going to start with a forward fold to help just ease the spine and start to relax into the legs. So take the feet just a little bit wider than hip distance, doesn't have to be too wide. Bend the knees so that they're not tightly straight and locked, but a little bit bent. And then let the belly come onto the thighs, drape your body forwards. Relax through the shoulders, relax through the head. Let the head maybe have a little shake, little nod, yes and no. Release the shoulders. So starting to release through the backs of the legs, maybe through the glutes, through the lower back here as well. Let the shoulders hang. So important to have the knees bent. So particularly if you feel very tight in the lower back, the tighter you feel in the lower back, the more you bend the knees. Lovely. And then we're going to come down to hands and knees. So hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. We'll take some cat-cow just to ease out the spine. So this way we tilt the tailbone and lift the chest forwards, and then we suck the navel in towards the spine. Look at the navel rounding the back. And then we come into what's called cow pose, where we tilt the tailbone up towards the sky and let the heart reach forwards. Bring yourself back to a neutral spine. So we'll come into downward facing dog. So downward facing dog, spread the fingers, middle fingers pointing forward so that you're looking after the wrists. Strong through the hands, so even just slightly gripping the mat or the floor with your fingertips. Tuck your toes under, look at your knees, and then lift your knees away from the floor. So you might need to take a little tiny step back so that the spine feels nice and long. And again, the knees can be a little bit bent here. So we stretch into the hands, push the hands into the floor, push the floor away, long through the arms. A little bit of strengthening for the shoulders, but also a little stretch for the shoulders. A stretch for the spine, and then for the backs of the legs. So we'll bend one knee and lengthen the opposite heel to the floor. So we get a really good stretch in the back of the calf, the Achilles, and the hamstring. And then we'll take it to the other side, so bending the other knee, lengthening the other heel to the floor. We'll do one more time with each leg. Lovely. And then bring yourself all the way to standing. So walk the feet in, slowly start to roll up through the spine. So you don't go up too quickly, you don't want to feel lightheaded. We'll reach the arms up, interlace the fingers, and take a side stretch, leaning over to one side, and leaning over to the other, reaching up tall. And here we're going to take what's called in yoga warrior one. So with warrior one, step back, face forward, step back with your right foot and let your right toes just turn out slightly, but more likely they're pointing slightly forwards. So your front knee is straight forwards, as are your front toes. And we're really lengthening into this back leg, the front of the back leg as well as the back, and reaching up tall here. So a little bit of length here through the front of the body as well. Strength and length. Reaching up tall, breathing here. Use the right glute to help support you and be strong. And then bring the hands back either to the chest or to the hips. And then we'll step forwards and we'll take it to the other side, swapping legs. So you really want to be pushing back through that back heel. That way you get a great stretch in that back calf and Achilles. And just check that your front knee's not falling in. We want to stabilise the knee joint. So have that knee pointing straight forwards as well as the front toes. And as we turn the chest forwards, we get this length in this back leg here. So strong and long. Reaching through the hands. Pressing back through that back heel, but pushing forwards through the front knee. Lovely, and then we'll come back to standing at the front, and we're going to come all the way down to the floor. So bring yourself down to the floor, and we'll just release through the hips. So have one leg out straight, and cradling the other leg, so taking hold of the foot and the knee, and we work this hip joint here. So give that hip joint a little bit of movement. Lovely. And then we're going to swap legs to the other side. A little bit of movement here through those hip joints. Lovely. Then we're going to release the legs. Let the legs go as wide as feels okay for you. And if you need to look after the knees, it can be nice just to roll a towel or have a cushion under the knees so the knees are bent slightly. Lift up tall so you're not rounding the back. And we'll take a forward fold here so that we lengthen into the inner thighs. And you can have a little walk up the hands over to one side. And then you can walk through the other to the other side. And let the hands come back to the center. So this is a nice forward fold to help lengthen the lower back and lengthen the inner thighs as well into the groins. And then we'll finish by coming onto our back. So lift yourself up, use the hands on the outsides of the legs to bring the legs together. Lying on your back and with the knees bent, and bring your right ankle onto your left thigh. Open the knee out. So this might feel enough of a stretch in this outer hip and glute for you. Or alternatively, you can lift the left foot off the floor, bring the hands behind the thigh, draw the knee in. Just feel that you're relaxed through the shoulders, you're not too tight through the shoulders. So you can take a few breaths here. It's good to be in each of the stretches for around 16 to 20 seconds. So if you've got a bit more time, you might like to be in each of these positions for a little bit longer to really let the body relax. And then we'll release and take it to the other side. So that left ankle onto the right thigh. Push the left knee away. So we're activating this outer hip. We're stretching so this outer hip, thigh, glute there as well. And if that's not enough of a stretch for you, you can bring the right thigh a little bit closer, holding onto the back of the thigh with the hands. Drawing in. Staying relaxed through the shoulders so you're not creating any tension in the neck and in the shoulders. Keep breathing easily. And then we'll release that down. And a little hug in here. So just give the back a stretch. A little rock side to side. So you're massaging out the lower back. And if you feel your body needs a little twist, it's a nice way to ease out the spine. The feet can come to the floor. Let the feet be nice and wide, knees wide. Open the arms out and drop the knees from side to side. This way we're also just releasing a little bit through the hips. And the head can roll into the opposite direction than the knees. Lovely. And then bring yourself back. Bring the knees back up, feet together, roll over onto your side and bring yourself up. Thank you for joining me today.